Leads without ad spend are super sexy. Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Sales Podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host. Today, we have Ashley and Sarah. They are the owners of Grow a Business, and you are in for a treat. I love this quote I got from them. I was actually on Ashley's Facebook profile where it said, leads without ad spend are super sexy. And I agree. We're going to talk about inbound marketing and the tips and tricks and advice and recommendations they have to help you create inbound sales. And that has been my focus for many years. You know, I got into my own thing because I realized I was a marketer trapped in a salesman's body. I understand both sales and marketing. I got into Infusionsoft in 2008. I've shifted to HubSpot primarily now. I've used them since 2014. I moved my website to them and just going really deep into the platform. It is so super sexy to create these inbound leads, and that's what HubSpot helps me do with their website, right? They call it their COS instead of the CMS. I moved an old and large WordPress website to the HubSpot platform. Their landing pages, their blogs, websites, the calls to action, the reporting, the dynamic progressive web forms, the smart content, the smart CTAs. It's too much to even list here in this episode. I probably should do an episode of the CRM Sushi podcast on HubSpot, but we shall see. I'll get to that. But you're in for a treat. Here comes my wife running around the house. Been taking the oldest one shopping. He's home from India. So got him some clothes, got him a haircut, got him some food. The poor boy flew out with the flu, but he's over that. It's all good. But as always, come hang out with us on theimplementors.com. I will share tips and tricks and advice and recommendations on how you can create your own inbound sales. So it's theimplementors.com. It's our free group. If you're ready to grow with me via live weekly calls, check out the Inner Circle. So it's thesaleswhisperer.com. And in the top navigation where it says products, just scroll right down to Inner Circle. And you can learn all about it and join right there. So now let's bring on our guests. We have Ashley Avalon and her emotional support guru, Sarah Thompson from Grow a Business. Welcome to the Sales Podcast. How the heck are you?
Fantastic. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm good now that you actually made the interview. I mean, if I was like kind of petty and I don't know, mean, I would talk about how you missed the regular time and I've sat here crying in my coffee, but I won't bring that up. Okay.
Okay.
I'll probably edit that part out if I remember to. Maybe not. So what is going on? I saw an interesting little discussion. I think it was on Facebook actually. And I loved your witty comment. And unfortunately, I don't even remember what it was. I'm like, I got to know this person, and I look you up, and I see your background, and you work with, based on Dale Carnegie, and you worked with LinkedIn, and the actual results. I was like, okay, we got to talk. So how have you, so from your website, I'm reading here, as a social media marketing expert. Now, normally that scares the crap out of me because there's a bunch of people that are fakers. They're a social media marketing expert. That means they post some pictures on Pinterest. So, but anyway, okay. You have helped your clients generate over $6 million in sales in 2017 through LinkedIn.
That actually needs to be edited. It was 7 million. We got our final numbers in, so I actually need to go in and edit that. We did more.
There you go. So talk to me about that. We're going to get into Sarah's story about paying her way through college and grinding out of deep in debt, which I haven't forgotten about you at all, Sarah. Maybe we're saving the best for last. I don't know. We shall see, but we're going to bring all that in. But talk to me about that. I mean, LinkedIn. I had a little issue yesterday. I posted, said, hey, do you hit up people 72 hours after meeting them on LinkedIn for free advice? So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I saw that comment or that post on Facebook and actually commented on it because I actually had that happen. Or people sell me my own services. And I've actually had people literally sell me my own LinkedIn services because a lot of people white label to us.
Right.
And so I've been sold literally my own product before. And I was like, nice. Like, do you not know who I am at all? Like,
crazy.
Your company uses me.
So Microsoft bought LinkedIn, and have they actually like not messed it up yet, or is it in the process of being messed up by Microsoft?
Actually, I think it's better.
All right.
So here's why I think it's better. It's really moved to pay to play. So if you are trying to add a lot of connections, if you're trying to engage a lot, you have to pay for a premium subscription. And at the beginning of this year, it was starting to phase that way, but it wasn't there fully yet. And
right.
So once we got there, like, it's wonderful for our clients because the people they're engaging with are active users. And so that's a really big deal because everything we do on LinkedIn is organic. So we're not talking about running ads on LinkedIn. I've done that, but we use LinkedIn to build authentic relationships, like where you actually talk to people as people. It's this crazy thing that people don't understand. I know. Social media, you use it to be social.
Wow.
Go figure. And that's really where like the Dale Carnegie stuff comes into play, where we are actively listening and we're actively talking to people and making sure that we understand people's concerns. And I'm very much a person that I don't sell people something they don't need, and we don't go for no.
Oh, wait a minute. We're going to have to end this interview. This is all about cramming stuff down people's throat. I mean, didn't you read the bio, the description of this interview?
I mean, I'm sorry.
Golly.
I failed.
Fine. Go. You're this kinder, gentler salesperson. Continue.
And so we just really build real relationships. And last year in March, I developed a system on LinkedIn that was based on how I could take how to win friends and influence people, turn that into a product and service for people to generate sales on LinkedIn. Basically turning LinkedIn into an online networking event, which is what it really should be used for. And from there, that's how my clients were able to start building relationships, getting sales, and doing all these crazy things. And that was fantastic. We actually grew upon that this year. I listened to your podcast this morning, so I'm totally going to like throw in one of the things that you said, but it was like, you were talking about like in the 50s when they used to get drunk and do things like drinking to take the edge off. So the LinkedIn lead booster I developed one night after a Thunder basketball game, and I'd been drinking a little bit. And it was this amazing whiteboard thing that I sent to Sarah. And I was like, this is it. This is how you make money on LinkedIn.
And I was like, I cannot read that.
So then I had to like.
You got to get a little sippy sip of what she's sipping on when she's creating. It's like the inspector, the magic goggles. You can it's a deciphering.
So then I had to take it back and I actually made it into a nice flow chart online where you could read it and understand everything, and started working with it. And the leads that are coming in off of it are just amazing. And it's just sheer insanity. And it just proves the fact that if you actually treat people like people and you aren't pitchy and you're not salesy and you just converse with people, you can get more done. And I always talk to people, I'm like, if you are in business and you're transactional, like it's a once and done thing with your client, like you're in real estate. I was like, your biggest thing right now is to find a referral partner that can send you 10 leads a year, because if it's transactional, you're only getting one sell. And that person's going to stay in that house for 10, 15, 20 years. You're not going to get another lead out of them. And they may refer you their cousin, sisters, brother, somebody random, but you're just not going to get that. And so we teach people how to build referral partners on LinkedIn also. And that's Sarah's and I's big thing, is just building those referral partnerships and really getting to the core root of business.
I'm wanting my Google alerts to trigger an API to run a screen scrape on the PR to trigger another AI to send Google tracking pixel to send an email to my VA to send them a link to buy. Isn't that how business gets done in 2018?
Sure.
That is actually, I believe in automating when it makes sense. So for low priced items, like if you're selling a $27 course or a $97 course, that automation makes sense. But that's not what we sell, and that's not what our clients sell. Our clients are selling programs that are $5, $10, $15, $20, $50,000. You can't automate a relationship at that level. You just can't. You have to actually talk to people.
Right.
I mean, there's still that know, like, and trust factor in sales that's always going to be there. And I know, websites are used for credibility. LinkedIn profiles are used for credibility. Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, like people are going and searching for you everywhere because they want to know how real you are. And so that feels like that added trust is there, but you still have to have so many more things in place to really help you get over that edge and that hurdle.
Okay. I mean, so without giving away everything, I mean, what's going on? Because you're talking about being organic on LinkedIn. I mean, are people like writing articles? Are you creating groups or just participating in groups? I mean, what can somebody do to up their game on LinkedIn?
Usually we tell people to start a conversation with people in messages. There's a way that we have that, like, you can garner engagement to then start a conversation with someone. So it's like an article or post of some sort. And on LinkedIn, they like reward mixed media, meaning if you are posting like a video, then just a traditional post and then an article, it is better than producing like 30 articles. And so they want that mixed relationship there. And so those are the things that we do for people. We create their content and curate it, which is amazing because I'm able to, I feel like I know tons of things about lots of different industries, but the real thing is just to get engagement and to get people talking so that you can start that conversation naturally. And people always talk about like a script on LinkedIn, and I'm like, why don't you start with hello? Like, how do you talk to people in real life? Quit trying to send people a scripted LinkedIn message with 45 links in it that is 12 pages long that no one's going to read. That's not going to get you sales.
Yeah, I ignore all of those. And there's a fine line between too little and too much. I mean, I'll get a hello or hi, Wes, how are you? I'll get that as a message. And I'm like, I'm not responding to that either.
Yeah.
Just like on the phone, if I just call up, Sarah answers the phone. Hi, Sarah, how are you?
Who's this?
We all go, we pull the phone away. We're like, do I know this name and number? I'm like, fine. Who's this? I mean, so you're immediately on guard.
Yes.
Right.
Sarah has an amazing thing that she uses that's actually hilarious that she sends out to people. So I'll let her say her thing because it's funny. I'm good with one-liners. So my thing that I start a conversation with is, I would say, hi, Wes. What you got cooking? And people because it's a casual question.
Right.
And so people will come back and say, I'm making an omelet right now, and then you actually conversation.
Okay. So here's my question. Is it, what do you have cooking? Or is it what you, like all in one word, and cooking with no G?
Right.
All right. There you go. That's what I would say.
Because that's what I would say if I were at an actual networking event. So every time you're going to write a message to someone, think, would I say this if I was at a networking event?
And, I'm originally from Louisiana, and English was an elective. So, I mean, that's how we talk.
Right.
All this punctuation and grammar, that's way overrated. Come on, just cut to the chase. Hey, what's shaking, bacon? What you got cooking? You picking up what I'm putting down, right?
So now, Sarah makes fun of me because, secretly we think I'm like an 80-year-old woman. So I'm much more formal in everything. I'm like, how's business? How's life treating you?
Hello, Edith. It's good to speak with you.
Yeah, I have to clutch my pearls sometimes.
Now, would you say that to a, Fortune 500 VP of sales and marketing?
Actually, I would, and I've been in the boardroom with them. So my, being able to go into those types of situations and have been put in that position, I think that might be why I'm a little bit more kind of refined, because I want to know kind of the ins and outs. And I audit marketing and sales for companies.
Right.
And so like those processes, and to be able to get in and look at numbers and all that, there has to be that professionalism there. And so I want to make sure that what I'm doing, one, carries over not to just corporate clients, but to kind of the everyday person.
Right.
And a lot of people know Sarah and I online. We're very blunt. We're very just kind of crass people. But really, when you get down to the nitty gritty of business, like if we have to work, we have to do our job. And our whole business is to help people grow and succeed. And we follow a rapid growth structure. So we're talking about taking a business from nothing to $1 million, or from 6 figures to 8 figures. And so the massive amounts of growth that we're influxing into a business, there has to be that level of trust. So there has to be that level of professionalism. They're not going to love me if I come in and my jeans and my t-shirt and I'm like, hey, how's it going?
What you got cooking?
Yeah,
I do. But the first meeting I'm dressed up, but I am also in people's bank accounts. So there's a level of trust that I can wear jeans. Once I am engaged with the client, I wear jeans into their office. Yeah. If their employees wear jeans, if they wear jeans, I wear jeans.
Oh yeah. You got to match that. But online though, are you if you're working with a client, do you have them make their, Dream 100 list and say, okay, we're going to go after these. We're going to find key decision makers at these top. We'll find 10. We'll go after 10 this week, and try to send a connection request, and then just send hey, what you got cooking? I mean, is it that direct?
We're both growth hackers at heart. So what we actually do is we take a list. I've done this for myself and my clients many times. Take a list, and then I figure out who they're friends with, and I friend all those people, or on Facebook, or send connections requests on LinkedIn. We send connection requests to their assistants, to their team. And
I'm known to send flowers to people's assistants if I want a meeting.
Sure.
I don't care. Because I'm getting in that door, and if I can win over the gatekeeper, it's all over at that point. Because guess what? Susie's put me on your schedule.
So rather than go straight for the kill, not that I like that term, but rather than go straight to that person, if you send them a connection request and you're already connected to 100 people, including their wife and their business partner and their receptionist, they're going to probably be more likely to accept your connection request.
Right. And then I have to assume you're a human being, right? Just like at a party. I mean, hey, come on over to our 4th of July, picnic. Hi, Ashley. I do sales training. Would you like some sales training? I also sell software. You want some software? You can have both. Which would you like to have? Oh, by the way, how you like the hot dogs? I mean, that's how most people sell online.
Yeah, we're very backdoor salespeople. I have to look, and maybe it's because I'm so Dale Carnegie that it's not even funny. So I just listen a lot during those things. And I really like to use people's words against them to get the sell. Because I'm if I can regurgitate the exact verbiage, it's a little bit easier to close that sell because I've listened to what the issue is and provided the exact solution they need. Right. And, my background is sales. And so to bridge sales and marketing, I had to figure out how to do that because most companies, those two departments hate each other for some reason. And there has to be the bridge between the two. Right. And that's really what I've learned how to do. I mean, my background is director of sales and marketing. So those are the things that I look at, and I want to make sure that the lead generation process matches the sales process and that the leads are coming in and the sales are being able to be closed and finding the holes between the two. And so usually what we find is that people just rush into the sell without building that real relationship and finding out what that person actually needs. And so you have to listen. And that's, the best advice I can give to anyone in sales and marketing is we listen online constantly. We're searching keywords. We're looking for what people are actually searching for. We want to know what people want and what they need, because you can't sell someone something if they're, you can't sell them hot dogs if they're not hungry.
Well, how do you balance that between, a salesperson taking action and a salesperson falling into the trap of goofing off and just hanging out on social media, reading posts all day?
So usually we handle all the listening for people. That's what our agency does, and that's our responsibility as the marketing company. Usually if I'm involved in a sales process, it's from an auditing standpoint. I'm looking at where usually a sale is either lost in the beginning because trust wasn't established, or it's lost at the end because there was no follow through or they went for no and they were done. And I don't believe in that at all. I have signed within the last month clients that I've been chasing for a year. And it's just because I had a slow, consistent follow-up process. I went and met with them for coffee multiple times and gave them free advice in the hopes that someday they would hire me. And so those are the things that I look at and how I want to be treated in business. So I know how other people want to be treated in business.
That's a scary thing. The part I didn't put on my little rant yesterday, this guy messages me and literally says, hey, I have Infusionsoft, which I sell. So he admits he has something that I sell, but he did not buy it from me. He bought somebody else's coaching program, which is also a competitor to me. But now he admits he put the cart before the horse. He is now out of money. He needs to extract all of his data out of Infusionsoft before he closes it. And he had very specific questions on how to do that. And he's considering a cheap alternative and wanted my advice and recommendation on that. And he just sent me a connection request 72 hours previously. And I thought about it. I thought about it for a long time. It really, and this was an older gentleman just looking at his profile picture. I would think he'd know better. Right. And it just.
Have you ever sent someone an invoice for the pick your brain thing? Because Sarah and I absolutely hate the term pick your brain.
Right.
Like, it makes us cringe.
Yeah.
And there's a difference in providing value. Like, we record tons of free training and tons of free offerings. And so we're happy to send people links to things that can help them.
I have 1,200 pages and posts on my website. You can probably find the answer to everything, including global warming and how to, raise butterflies. It's probably on my website. He doesn't look. But getting back to the free consulting, I always cringe. I'm like, how much? Because I give free consulting on my website, right? Free reports, whatever. So, but then you talk about like you'll meet with somebody. Now, I also have to assume you're going after a bigger sale. This is probably a 5-figure sale, right?
Yeah. There was definitely a rapport that had to be established, and it was really just a follow-up and follow-through and building that trust. And it took me 30 minutes to go meet with them locally over coffee to help secure things, that's what needed to be done. And so you have to gauge the system. Like, are they picking your brain because they want to know how good you are, or are they picking your brain because they're going to go use this themselves?
Right.
And I also build pro bono time into my schedule. And so that way, if I really have this urge to help somebody, it's limited, the amount of time, and it's somebody who I really want to help.
Right.
So, for example, I've helped people, because I do a lot of money coaching kind of stuff where I'm helping people start having any kind of income. And I helped people last year, 2 women that were in financially abusive relationships, just to make enough money to move.
Sure.
So you can, if you're that person that wants to be giving to people that are really in need, then actually do that intentionally. Don't just allow these people who don't, we're not here to save everybody.
That's a key point. I think people get in trouble because they're afraid of sales. So they hide behind this giving. It's like you can't give people what you don't have, right? You have to go make the sale so you have income and resources to give to those who can't pay.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing I've noticed is, and I know Sarah will agree to this just because it's happened to us multiple times, we'll take calls with people to where we're willing to give them an hour, 2 hours of our time to help them get started, and they don't listen to our advice. And nothing is more frustrating than me giving you my time, handing you a business in a box, packaged up, wrapped in a bow, and say, you can take this idea I've given you and go make millions of dollars with it. And they're like, oh, I don't know. That's scary. Why? Like, it's no big deal. Like,
you got to make them pay. And you know what? The definition of an expert is that you come from out of town and you carry a briefcase, right? My son, he just turned 20 yesterday. He's got a buddy from high school that got into CrossFit. He's in great shape. He wants to create a fitness coaching business. And he's over at the house. We're always talking. But then he tells me, yeah, I'm saving up money. I'm going to pay $3,000 to this fitness guru guy and go to his boot camp, whatever. I'm like, so I pull up the guy's website. I was like, why don't you pay me $1,500 instead of waiting 3 months to have that money? We'll start right now. And he's like, oh, can you help me? I'm like, what? What have we been talking about for the last 2 years, right? So then, like 2 weeks ago, I made him buy pizza. He's like, yeah. He texted me this question, right? Like, how do I get people to pay more money? I'm like, that's not a 2-minute text exchange. I was like, get some pizza, come to the house. When? I'm like, I'll be home in an hour. And he says, Little Caesar's okay? I said, if you want 5 minutes of coaching on a 60-minute problem, then bring Little Caesars. Right?
I can eat in wine, so I get it.
Yeah, so he brings Little Caesars, but he brought breadsticks. But I made him pay. I made him put some money so he listened. Right? He did, and we spent hours. And he's at the house every day. So we're talking all the time. But the mere fact that he spent $10 or $15 to get the advice, now it's sticking, and now he's implementing. Right? Because I stopped giving free advice.
I like the lunches. Like, it's a very rare occasion that someone's like, hey, can I take you out for lunch and just talk? And I'm like, what? I don't have to pay for lunch? Because I'm used to like wooing my clients and buying.
I will speak for food and whiskey. I will.
I remember, and you have to keep in mind, my business is so relatively new. I just celebrated my 2 years 2 days ago. And I used to get paid in wine because I didn't really need money. Like, it wasn't important, and that wasn't why I was doing what I was doing. And I feel like I should explain. I made $1 billion business in 18 months. So I didn't just give away everything for free. I was very strategic in how I did
right now or previously you did? Did you have another business and kind of retired, or what?
No.
So Sarah and I merged all of our businesses into one. Okay. So I had 2 businesses. She had 2 businesses. We came together in November and we're like, hey, we want to start this business together. And then as we started getting going, we were like, oh, we should just put all of this under one umbrella. Like, why are we making this so complicated and confusing people?
Right.
So we absorbed all of our businesses into one, which makes it so much easier for people because then everything is in one house. And we have our DIY services, our done-for-you marketing services, and then our elite C-suite, remote services where we do, remote CMO, CFO work. And CSO, but the S being strategic, not sales. Right. But just those little things that we do. And so it's been a big change. This change just happened this month. We're 18 days in. We've been building a foundation and have built the right structure for this. because I already had an established $1 million business. It's really easy to move that into another one. Just a couple phone calls to clients. Hey, we didn't disappear. You can still use all the old links. Everything still works. It's just a new name. And it's a little bit easier for you to get every service you need. Plus having Sarah, who's like the financial guru God.
So your business was focused on LinkedIn, and then you brought Sarah in for, was it finance and operations? Is that right?
My business was more done for you marketing. So it was like websites, logos, email marketing, social media marketing campaigns. I was always brought in for social media marketing campaigns, whether people knew I was who was working on them or not. And then, so that kind of just enveloped into other things and developed like naturally from there. And so I think the progression that I took was very natural to get to where we are now. Mm-hmm. I knew that I was ready at the end of the year for the next level, and I didn't want to be building websites all the time. I had a team already. Why was I still involved in all of the like day-to-day stuff that I wasn't really wanting to spend my time on when I could be helping people with rapid growth? And that's what I was good at. And so Sarah helps, like, she's the operations queen. Like, I cannot just stress that. Our days are so much shorter. I was working like 16 to 20 hours last year, and I would take off 2 months at a time because I was just burnt. And now I have like normal work hours. Things are getting done. We're able to work a lot more with clients and help them achieve their goals faster. And so it's a lot better. And I still have my team. Like, no one got fired in our absorption. In fact, we hired more people. It's just, we wanted to make sure we were doing everything right. Well,
let's talk about that. Because people listening, before you got into that story, right, people listening like, man, I'd love to have $1 million business. But then they hear 20-hour days and 2 hours or 2 months off because I'm burnt out. I'm like, I don't think I want that. So knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently 2 years ago or 3 years ago, to prevent that burnout, to create a more sustainable, enjoyable business?
I would have definitely hired a COO from the start and should have done that.
How do you do that? How do you do that if business is still slim, right? I mean, it's that chicken and the egg. I know if I hire somebody, I'll have a better quality of life, but this person wants $50,000 or $60,000 or they're worth $100,000, but heck, I'm only doing, $6,000 a month, $7,000 a month, $10,000 a month, and I got to pay my own bills. How do I bring on that very qualified person that I need?
Well, I can talk to that if you'd like, because one of the things that I work with clients on is that tipping point, that time that you need to hire somebody versus outsource versus have somebody part-time versus focus a little bit on your systems so that you don't need to spend as much hiring somebody, so that you can have somebody do things remotely. So there's always this struggle between making enough money and then spending the money. So I say this to clients all the time. You make the money, then you spend the money. You make the money, then you spend the money. So it's incremental reinvestment is what you do. So you, rather than think of it from the standpoint of, I made $7,000 this month, think about it from the standpoint of, when I get to $7,000, I'm going to reinvest 20% of that in my business. So rather than take a fancy vacation, why don't I spend $1,400 a month on somebody to help me? And then because you've done that, you can grow more rapidly. So that's where I focus on the operations side, which is actually restricting people from taking more sales, because they're saying to themselves, oh my God, I can't take another client. I can't sell more.
So you're helping them restrict sales, or you're helping them fix the problem that's restricting sales?
They're restricting their sales in their own mind. Because they're already overwhelmed. So they're stopping themselves from seeking out new clients, from seeking out referral relationships, from even taking on a new client, because in their mind, they're maxed out. Their capacity is full because they're already working 20-hour days, and their spouse or partner is already yelling at them because they're not taking the weekend off or not able to go to the kids' soccer game or whatever, right? How could they take on another thing? Well, there's this shift that takes place in your mind around limited capacity, right?
Right.
And how do you solve that problem? Once you solve the idea in your head that you have limited capacity, you don't inhibit your own growth.
Right. Well, I tell everybody, I've got a free video and a PDF. I call it Process Before Login. And I work with everybody on that in the beginning, whether they buy software from me or they already have it or they're considering, because I see all these people, they got all these things. I got Slack. I've got Zapier. I've got my CRM. I got my email marketing. I got my social media. I got my aggregator. I'm like, what do you want to have happen? They're like, I don't know. I'm so chaotic. I'm like, write it down. Go get a big grease board. I use butcher block paper, right? Like wrapping paper that, when the movers come, it's like, whatever, 3 or 4 feet tall. We rip off a 6-foot section and write it with a Sharpie. I'm like, see this big picture. Mm-hmm. Web leads, referrals, affiliates, pay-per-click. Where do they go? Then where do they go from there? And then where do they go from there?
Which is so funny. That's actually how the merging of all the businesses took place. I was like, hey, I want to retire at 35. That's my end date. That's my done. I'm over it. That's it for me. And so Sarah's roped me into a lot longer than that, and that's okay. She has bigger plans than I do. And she was like, really, what are you going to do when you retire at 35? And I'm like, I'm going to sit on a beach and drink Mai Tais. And
come on. That gets old.
That's exactly what she said. So she booked us this trip. So we're actually leaving Friday to go spend 10 days at the beach so I can work from the beach.
Why don't you come to Temecula, California and spend 10 days drinking wine with me at our 43 vineyards, and we'll make an even bigger plan to take over the universe, not just the world.
Totally. We're in.
How about that?
I don't drink wine, but Ashley can drink it for me.
There you go.
Ashley, I can drink my wine.
Ashley drinks for two.
Hey, we have a designated driver. Look at that. Done.
No, I didn't say I wasn't going to drink. I just said I wasn't going to drink wine.
Yeah, I'm not a big wine connoisseur either, actually. But we do have a distillery here, and we have a lot of microbrews. So we got that going for us.
Yeah, I want so much more. And I love helping people. And that was really why I started my business. And I started local. I started in Oklahoma and just helping people in my local area, and then grew that to where now I have clients in 23 countries. And I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I'm a little farm girl with massive clients, and people are like, who are you? And I'm like, yeah, so it's nice to meet you.
Now, wait a minute. You got the Google in Oklahoma?
We do. And we have power. And I don't live in a teepee.
Shut the front door.
I know, it's really hard.
In the interwebs.
Do y'all play football in Oklahoma?
Oh, we play lots of football in Oklahoma.
Ooh, I guess that's kind of mean right there. Isn't it?
We play football in Massachusetts too.
Where?
Not like we do in Oklahoma.
Massachusetts? Is that like in Canada? Where's that? Hold on.
Like home of the Patriots.
Let me go to the Google. Where is Massachusetts? Oh, okay.
See, in Oklahoma, we don't have but the Thunder NBA team, so we're more college football.
There you go. All right, I love college football.
Tailgates and our...
One of the ways that Ashley and I decided to partner together and why we click and why we get along, I grew up in Western Massachusetts, so I'm halfway between Boston and New York City, and I grew up in a tiny town of 1,500 people. Ashley also grew up in a tiny town. So our core philosophy in our life is based on relationship building. I have the same two best friends, one of whom lives in Temecula, actually, and is a school principal there. I have the same two best friends that I've had since birth. So I'm 45 years. I've had the same two best friends. So everything in my being is around building long-term relationships with people. That's who we are. We're from small towns. Ashley could drive down the street in her town and know who lives in each of the houses. Like still now.
Do people want that today? Or do they just want their artificial intelligent chat bot to fire things off and just deposit money while they drink Mai Tais on the beach?
I think that you have to have the healthy balance. We do talk, I'm an Infusionsoft guru. So like and I will use the word guru because when I was on bed rest with my youngest son, I was programming Infusionsoft for people in the UK and getting paid hourly to do it. And it was like amazing because I was like, I'm on bed rest and I'm still working. Like, this is awesome. And so like, I very much believe in there's a time and a place for automation, and there's a time and a place for building relationships. And you have to have that rapport and know what's going on. And that's why for me, and I know that from the stuff I've read and talked to you about, CRMs are very important.
Who is coming in? Don't they know that Mom's on a very important interview with the sales whisperer? I got a Circle R thingy on my name. I'm like official. Put that kid on camera. We got to have a call.
Thingy. I love it. I need a Circle R thingy.
Hey, send the government a couple $100 and you can have it. Like if nobody else had it. Because somebody else did try to have it, but I beat them. I was using it before they did, but I digress.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Hey, you can't mute the kids. My kids come in all the time. It's part of the show.
I actually have taken a call with very important people where Bob my 3-year-old came in the room and I shoved him under the desk. And this was before the CNN live video went viral. And so then everyone under the sun sent me that message. Like it was all over. And I was like funny. Kicking him under the desk.
Hey, there he goes.
Here he is.
Sorry. He's home from school sick today.
He doesn't look too sick.
Yeah.
Now he's hiding behind the chair. That's awesome. My baby, she just turned 4 2 days ago. And a couple of days, I'm on a paid client call, right? But he's a cool dude. And she came walking in, sits on my lap. We just keep talking. I'm like, you know what? If people aren't cool with that, then I don't want them as a client. So
Sarah and I are the same way. And I think that's part of the reason our partnership works so well is we're both moms and we both work out of our house. And so there's times her daughter comes in from school and we're on a call and we just handle it. And there's times my kids are coming in off the bus and it just happens and life happens. But obviously we want to work with people that reflect our lifestyle. And, there's a time and a place where we can go into the boardroom and,
sure,
be in a suit and handle it. But at the same time, like day to day, we work from home.
So how did y'all meet each other being so far apart physically?
We actually worked on a project together with 3 other people. And so that's how we met. That was in November. And so we actually haven't.
Oh, wow. This was fast.
Yeah, we actually haven't met in person yet. So Friday, we're going to the beach and we're going to meet in person. But we talk on video every day. So I feel like that's like.
What if one of you eats ice or Doritos really loudly and you get on each other's nerves and you want to kill each other in person?
We would know that already because we talk enough.
I'm an audio freak. Mute is always by my finger. I don't understand people. Don't have phone etiquette, voice etiquette. Oh, it kills me.
Yeah. So no, I mean, it just makes sense from both of our business standpoints for us to have joined as partners. Plus we have a lot of fun.
Okay. Hey, we gotta interview him. What's his name? What's your son's name? Bob?
Well, his name is really Brevin, but everyone calls him Bob because, he's the youngest.
And he will probably play football for OU. So I know your listeners can't see how huge he is. He's a 3-year-old that's the size of a 5-year-old. We tailgate at the OU games, and he got in trouble for tackling an adult. And I really hope they're drunk because he's 2. So we have to deal with this. And I made a joke right after that. I was like, college scouts are going to be at my door. And the next day, literally a college scout added me as a friend on Facebook. And I was totally kidding about this. So I don't know if it's their social media listening was hey, this person needs a scout.
No, Facebook doesn't listen to us.
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's that.
Okay. All right. Final question. Are y'all ready?
Oh, God.
Y'all ready?
Totally.
This is the moment of truth. We've been building up just to this. Okay. But I like to ask, imagine our listeners, they're on a train, they're on a plane, they're on a treadmill, they're on a mountain bike. They can't do anything right now other than listen. But once they get to their desk, once they get out of airplane mode, what is one thing you'd recommend they go do, like right away, to change the trajectory of their business?
I'll let Sarah answer first.
Okay, I'll answer first. So what I recommend that you do is make a list of all the people that you already know and a list of the people that you want to know that do something different from you but serve the same market, and start building your relationship so that you can ask them to be a referral partner. So I'll explain that a little more clearly, because that might have been many words. But for example, I am a financial consultant. That's what I built my business on doing, financial and operational consulting. And I got a referral partner who was a business attorney that referred me $500,000 of business, because he did a different thing, but for the same market that I was seeking, which was small businesses. And I say small, under 50 million. So those were his clients. And I wanted to rapidly grow my own business. And that's what I did. I focused on referral partnerships first. Instead of focusing on the end sale, focus on the people you already know that do something different, serve the same market.
Right. Cool. Very nice.
And I'll just elaborate into that. If you have never read How to Win Friends and Influence People ever in your life, you need to read it. I read it 4 times a year, and have since I was 12. So many, many years that I've been reading this book. And that's my one go-to thing, because a lot of people don't understand, and they don't understand why I'm so reserved in selling. Yet I'm able to get very high priced, high ticket sales. And that's why. It's just that strategic thing of making sure you're listening to people's needs and not going into things with your own agenda, and you're not trying to flatter people and woo them. You have to genuinely appreciate people and genuinely want to build a relationship.
Look, that book's way too old. I'm a fan of the Jerky Boys, right? You slam their head in their car and you say, "You're going to buy this car or not?" Right? That's how sales get done. That's up in your part of the world, Sarah.
The Jerky Boys. That's a blast from the past.
You remember them? I was 9. I was in Korea. I always remember a buddy of mine turned me on to them. It was early 94, because I was leaving in the summer. And crack. I was like, who are these guys? I bought it, brought it home, and showed it. Well, I wasn't married then, but I met my wife right after we got married, and her and her whole family. We still sell. We always say, we'll say bring your shoes, kids, or we'll say, bring your shoes and your glasses so you have them. So there's still 25 years later, we're still quoting the Jerky Boys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I digress. But yeah, I do have that book on my shelf. I actually have a PDF of it I give people as a bonus, because it's in the public domain now. So if y'all don't have a few bucks to buy it, you can get it for free. And I'll link to both there. Very nice. So where do we send people to learn about you? I see your URL, but actually I want to hear Sarah say it.
Our URL?
Yeah.
It's growa.business.
Oh, I thought it was grow a business, grow.business. You got to say it that way.
Look, I'm from Boston.
Boston. It's all, it's kind of the same to me. But I'm a Southern boy. I don't know.
My stuff's always y'all, y'all.
I'm fixing to put a whooping on you if you don't go get a stick. Go. Grow.business. I like it. Very cool.
Yeah. So one of the things is it's GAB, the acronym is GAB. Oh. So everything that we do is GAB with Ashley and Sarah, because we like to talk to people.
Hey, me too. I like flapping my gums and getting paid for it. Gotta like it. All right. Well, we will link to that. And so we'll tell Bob hello. We're going to have him on later. We can work on a little football. I don't know if you can see up there my little Air Force Academy helmet. So if he wants to talk a little football, I can give you all some pointers. But hey, Ashley Avalon, Sarah Thompson, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate y'all taking some time.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right. Y'all have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
What a novel concept, huh? Man, building authentic relationships with organic content. Using automation for transactional sales, which makes sense, but using human-to-human interactions to make larger sales. Man. So she's starting these conversations with people on LinkedIn with messages. I can't tell you how few authentic messages I've gotten through LinkedIn. It's really crazy. So I was happy to hear from them, see what they're doing. We've opened a dialogue offline, and I think it's going to bear some fruit because I'm kind of torn on LinkedIn. It can be good. I'm hearing bad things. I know the cost of advertising there is a little bit high. It seems like there's a lot of spammers there. But like anything, when you know how to use a certain tool, but when you understand sales, you can use just about any platform profitably, to grow your business. So check them out. Stay plugged in. I've got all the show notes, link to their website. I really like what they are doing. They are authentic people. They're moms. They're humans. They are doing great things. So be sure to check them out. And as I mentioned before, check out the Implementors. Check out MakeEverySale.com. In the inner circle, it costs more money, but you get a lot more access to me at a fraction of the price of hiring me full-time or, for private one-on-one coaching. It's almost one-on-one coaching. So, again, thesaleswhisperer.com, go to the products tab, scroll down to the inner circle, and you can see there and join. As I've been asking here lately, I'd like to give you a gift. Please leave a 5-star review. Take a screenshot and send it to Wes at thesaleswhisperer.com, and I will send you my sales training flashcards, a digital copy of these. I sell them for $20 all day long. It's over 50 pages of the toughest objections that you get with replies, how to defeat those objections. So do yourself a favor by doing me a favor, and we'll both sell more. Thanks for listening. Now go sell something.